Hey guys, and welcome to today's book review. Today we are going to be reviewing That's Not What Happened by Cody Keplinger. This is about 6 survivors who survive a school shooting. Anything about Columbine, this book is basically what, like, they took Columbine and then she made a book. So she took Columbine and she made this book. It is basically the same story. It's just, the school's different, the names are different. Instead of rebuilding the library, they had to rebuild the computer room. And, it's just the little subtle things that are just different to, that's what you have to do. Is you have to, change things around to make books. But while I was reading this, and then even before I read it, I'm just like, this sounds a lot like Columbine. And so I finally read an article, and she said that's where she got the idea from. So I'm like, okay, I was right. I am one of those people who are fascinated by murders and everything, because I like to know what happened and why they're doing this and like what their motives were and everything. Like, that's just a big fascination to me. I know a lot of people don't, and then a lot of people do. Like, character in this book is Lee, and I'm going to be talking a lot about what happened with Columbine, because that's what this is about. So this is not going to be a spoiler for your review. I'm sorry. There is just a lot of things that need to be talked about because of this book, and I'm just like, well, I mean, what happened with Columbine, it was a school shooting. There were 13 kids that died, not counting the 2 shooters. And so, know anything about that, about how one of the girls, I don't remember the name of the actual girl, but she dies proclaiming her faith, and then they make this a big deal, and she's a martyr and all that stuff. Well, apparently that's not what happened. That she didn't say anything about her faith and all that. And so that's what this book is about, because of course a lot of times you don't really hear from the survivors. You maybe hear from like when it happens and all that, and like while the news is going on. It's her trying to set the story straight. So her and the other survivors write letters, and they explained what happened. And the reason that they're doing this is because, like in the real story, the parents write a book about what happened. And when Lee finds out, she's like, no, like, that's not what happened. We were scared in a stall, and they never talked. And of course, she didn't say that when the actual shooting happened, because she was scared. Because another girl was like, no, that was me, and she got ran out of town. They were calling her a liar because she didn't fit what the Christians want her to be. Like, she was goth, and she was just a troublemaker and all that. But actually, like, she wore a cross necklace, and no one saw. She went to church. But just because of the way she looked, she didn't look Christian. So that's why they ran her out of town for calling her a liar. So, I know that's what happened with Columbine. I'm not 100% sure if that happened in the real shooting. Because, I was like 3, and and it wasn't close. It was in Colorado and all that. And of course, no one really knows except the people that were there. But, so it also explains how, like, the PTSD and how Lee couldn't sleep for months. How, like, every little, like, I hate loud noises. I've always been like that since I was a kid. My aunt still likes to make fun of me for it. She'll do something, she'll be like, oh, is that too loud? I'm just like, really? I understand how they must feel, like, every little thing, like, they have to be so quiet, you can't sneak up on them and all that. And, like, of course, they almost died. So, which is cool, because, like, it's like, when it's, a letter, when it's a letter, it has like the gray. And also, she didn't want to have the shooter's name, because a lot of times, the press gives the actual shooter too much like airtime, and we're like, no, we don't care about him. So like every time that someone mentioned them. She just blocked it out because, you know, of course, that's not the point of the story. What's the point of the survivors? So if you do happen to read this, or you want to know more about the real story, you should read Columbine by Dave Collin. He was one of the first reporters on the scene, and, you know, he kept up with everything, and it's a pretty long book. It took me a while to read. But I think this is more like, if you like this, you'll like this, or if you like this, you'll like this, because they're basically the same story. And also, like, when I first, like, if you saw my most anticipated reads for fall or winter, this book was on there. And it was, like, right after the Santa Fe shooting, and I live in Texas. I live, like, 45 minutes away from Santa Fe. And so I was, like, really skeptical of reading this, and when I was reading it last night, I was crying. Like, it was bad. But I'm like, do I want to read this because it's still so new? But I'm just like, you know, I need to read it. It's a book, and, you know, it's based off something real, and, you know, school shootings happen way more than it should. And, like, side note, the characters in this book, he's technically the hero, but they always made jokes that he would be the one shooting up the school. And when I was a freshman in high school, people would make that joke about me because I was so quiet. I'm like, excuse me, just because I'm quiet doesn't mean I'm going to do that. But, like, of course, you know, like, I was new to the district. I was moved from Pasadena to Manville, and people didn't know me. And I'm like, oh, you're quiet. We probably shouldn't pick on you. And I'm just like, thanks, guys, because, you know, but, I mean, I had a lot more friends in high school than I did in elementary school and middle school, because from 5th grade to 8th grade, I was bullied a lot, especially 5th grade. 5th grade was the worst. But still, like, that doesn't mean I'm going to go hurt other people. Like, of course, like, with Columbine and with this, like, the shootings it was just whoever was there. I know, like, a lot of times they're trying, like, why? Like, who were they targeting and all this? And they're like, no, it just, whoever was there. Like, they meant, like, with Columbine, they meant to hurt a lot more people than they did. But just their bombs didn't go off like they were supposed to. So, luckily that one wasn't as bad as it should have been. But, yeah, side note, people thought that about me, and here we are, and no, I'm not going to do that. If you're watching this, you know who you are. So this is actually, like, this is a sad book. I'm not going to lie, you will cry. But I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I feel like I like this a lot better because I know what happened with Columbine, and I know everything that happened, and, like, I've watched documentaries, I've read the book, and blah, blah, blah. But I feel like this is a good book to start into if you want to learn more about, like, murders and if all that. And, I don't know, like, should not be a YA novel. Like, this should be more like an adult fiction, because I feel like this could be, and I guess it's, like, it's for everybody, but I don't know, just the way, like, she writes so well, and I didn't know, but she said, like, she's the author of The Duff, and I still haven't read that, I still haven't seen the movie, but also, if you haven't read any of hers, I think, like, I haven't read The Duff, so I don't know, but I think this is a good novel to start with her, because, I mean, this is my starting novel, but I think y'all should pick this up. And I'm still trying to get better at book reviews and trying to do them more, because, like, you know, the practice, the more it'll be better. But I hope you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.